Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome to my first video on the Voice of the Kingdom channel. I go by the name of Shatique. So for those of you who don't know me, I know some of you probably are following my other channel, which has to do with business. But this particular channel has to do with business, I guess, to some degree, but it's mostly about spirituality, right? It's mostly about your divine connection with the Father up above, right? This channel is going to be a channel that's going to empower, uplift, motivate, help, and change the lives of millions of people around the world, right? And we're going to do it together. It took me some years to finally launch this channel, right? I want you to know that this is not just something where I just woke up in the morning and just decided to do off the cuff, right? This is something that I've been thinking about for years and years and years. I've been thinking about putting together some type of content that can truly empower people. And I think there's no greater time than now, right? I think right now in this world, it's 2019 this year, right? Right now, there's no greater time to launch the Voice of the Kingdom. So that's what I did. I decided to do it. So why did it take me so long to launch the Voice of the Kingdom channel? And so I want to talk to you about that. You know, the reasons why it took me so long to launch it. I know some of you are probably thinking like, you know, should have been did this, you know, especially those of you who actually know me personally. You know some things about me that probably have led you to tell me that to do this before at a sooner date. But the reason why it took me so long to launch Voice of the Kingdom is because, for the simple fact, number one, you know, I was just, I guess, thinking about what other people would think, right? I guess I was thinking about criticism, and I was thinking about, you know, people who just label people for doing certain things or for sharing a certain message. So just to clear the air, right, before we start launching these videos, before I start sharing these videos and going into scriptures and going into different things about life and spirituality and your divine connection, your oneness, your power, your inner power, all that stuff, before I start going into that stuff, I just want to clear the air real quick for you, right? I want to clear the air for you real quick. Number one, I'm not a pastor, right? I'm not a bishop. So don't refer to me as a pastor or a bishop. I'm not a messiah or something like that, right? I don't want you to get it confused. Just a regular person here to share a message, right? I just have a message, I have a voice, and I want to share it with certain people because going to church when I was growing up, you know, of course, I have a family who's religious, they're Christians, and some of the family is religious at least, right? My whole family isn't religious, but I know growing up, from when I was small, I would go to church on Sundays. And as I got older, there were some things that I was able to understand more, right, as I got older. But a lot of what I see in the church today is that there's some extremely empowering messages, empowering stories, empowering content inside of the Bible, right? And it doesn't matter if you believe in the Torah, it doesn't matter if you believe in the Bible, it doesn't matter if you believe in the Quran, right? This channel is not a channel to cause division. This is a channel to cause and create unity, right? So I want you to know that just because I may be Christian or my family may be Christian, it doesn't take away at all from what you believe in. But when I was going to church, I would listen to pastors preach, and I would listen to, you know, bishops talk and prophets and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind if you called me a prophet, though. I wouldn't mind if you called me a prophet. Hey, that's up to you. But I've had people actually call me that before, so I don't know. Maybe I do have some type of prophetic, I guess, gift, I guess, right? But when I used to listen to pastors preach, they would talk about some messages, but I feel like those messages weren't conveyed in a way. Most times when I would hear pastors speak, the messages of the Bible or the scripture that they were talking about, I don't feel like it was conveyed in a way that was applicable to your life right there in the moment, if that makes sense, right? Like, I'm very intrigued by the Bible. I'm very spiritually connected to the Bible because I understand the messages for the most part. Do I understand all the messages? No, I don't understand all the messages. There's some things I have to go back and review, read again, And also, you just got to live life and experience some things for certain messages in the Bible to make sense to you. You just got to experience some things. You got to grow up. You got to experience life. So I understand that aspect too, but I always wished that a pastor would talk, or somebody would talk from the Bible in a way where we can use the messages, the stories, and the content right away and apply it to our lives right away to see results, right away to see our power, right away to see, you know, the Father's glory and what he can do for us in our lives. If we can interpret the message in that way, I think it could be 100 times more powerful, right? So that's really why I decided to launch this channel, but it took me a while because I was thinking about, you know, how people would perceive me or how people would see me. But now I don't care anymore because I feel like it's like, what a time to be alive. There's no greater time than now. You know, we're at a time in life right now where we have the internet, you know, and I feel like things are changing in a way where they will never be the same again right now before our eyes in life, right? You know, the technology that we have now, the things that we're able to do much faster than we were able to do it years ago. The way we communicate is a lot different now. The way we communicate is a lot more advanced, but simple at the same time, right? So that's why I feel like there's no greater time than now for me to launch the Voice of the Kingdom, and I decided to make this my first video. So for those of you who don't know me, you know, like I said, I grew up in a Christian household, middle to low class income. Didn't grow up in a rich family or anything like that. But I always had like a certain way of seeing things, and I always had certain ideas. Like I would always ask myself why certain things are certain ways. Growing up, I would always say, okay, why is this like this? And why is that like that? And I realized that a lot of why things are the way they are is because of the spirit. It's because of the spiritual aspect of those things. Or if you want to say nature, right? For example, nature. This is the reason why those things are the way they are. And I would read certain texts in the Bible and I would relate it to life, and then that's when I started to gain power, and I started to gain understanding, and I started to gain some type of wisdom, if you will. And that's what made me want to say, all right, let me share my message, because I believe that my message can touch somebody's heart out there. I believe that my message is going to uplift millions of people's lives out there. Maybe it's going to be your life. Maybe you're going to be the first person's life who I can inspire you and motivate you, and we can talk about certain texts in the Bible that's really going to allow you to have power now in your life, right? Not later, not years to come, but I want you to be able to understand the messages, the biblical messages and the stories that I tell in a way that allows you to be powerful, in a way that allows you to use the information now to see changes in your life and see positivity and stuff like that. So without any further ado, I'm just out here right now just looking at this creek. I'm out here by the creek. I love to observe nature. You know, I love to look at the water. I love to look at the plants and the trees and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just soothing to me at times to do, right? I believe that there's something special about connecting with nature, right? That's just my belief, right? And connecting with the sun and stuff like that. Because all of this stuff has been put on earth for a reason. There's a reason why everything is in place, and, you know, all that good stuff. So let me go into it, right? What we're going to talk about first in this video is, you know, is Genesis. We're going to talk about Genesis, the book of Genesis, which I believe is in the Old Testament. And the reason why we're going to talk about the book of Genesis is because I want to talk about specifically something that God said that I believe a lot of us take for granted and we don't think about in this way. But I think that after you understand what I'm talking about, and after I break this down, you're going to be more empowered by a very simple scripture. So Genesis, right? In the book of Genesis, in one of the earlier verses in the book, earlier chapters in the book, Old Testament, what does God say? God simply says, let there be light, right? Right? And then he creates the heavens and the earth and the plants, the trees, the animals and stuff like that. But he said, let there be light. Genesis, God said, let there be light. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If I had to pick it apart, let's talk about that. So let there be light. I think, if I had to interpret it, what I think is that's God's way of telling you that basically, let there be greatness, let there be positivity. You know, something that basically something that basically casts out the darkness. So when God says something like, let there be light, what he's saying is life has started, life has began, right? And he literally is speaking the world into existence, his world, his universe. He's speaking it into existence literally by saying, let there be light. And just by him saying this, he creates life. He creates the waters, he creates the heavens, he creates the earth, he creates the trees, he creates the animals, he creates the sun, he creates the planets, he creates the stars, just by saying, let there be light. So notice that anytime God speaks, and that was probably one of the most profound things for him to say, it's always something of positivity. He's always speaking greatness over the world. He's always speaking greatness. Always speaking greatness. So for somebody to, so if God is the ultimate consciousness and he says, let there be light, and he's speaking greatness into his world, my question to you is, are there times in your life where you don't speak greatness into your world? Are there times in your life where you don't just let there be light? Are there times in your life where you're just focused on the darkness instead of the light? And the reason why I got to ask you that question is because if you're focused on the darkness instead of the light, I want you to stop now. I challenge you to start letting there be light and letting the positivity flow. That's another thing I think God meant when he said, let there be light. Let the abundance flow. Let there be greatness. Let there be happiness. Let there be joy. Let there be life. Let there be, success. Let there be positivity. Let there be, let there be light. So now, but I think people sometimes, we look at our situation in life, and I've been there too, right? I've been there in this situation in my life as well, right? Where, maybe the bills are piling up, or maybe things aren't going exactly how I want them to go in my life. Maybe things aren't going exactly how I want them to go in my business. And sometimes we get a negative thought, right? We get a thought that's not conducive to light. We get a thought that's negative. That thought may be something of, oh, I'm depressed. Well, the minute you say something like, I'm depressed, or I'm broke, or I'm struggling, or I'm sick, I'm diseased, I'm stressed out. Why would you claim what you're claiming over your life is you're claiming darkness? Why would you claim darkness when God spoke nothing but light into the life, into the world? Right? So you never want to claim that stuff, although it may be the situation at the moment. Although your reality may be saying one thing, your spirituality, your consciousness can say a totally different thing. And if your spirituality and your consciousness says something totally different, now you're empowered, now you're enlightened, now you're ready to take on whatever it is that is coming on your path. And you're ready to be confident as you go on your journey. But you gotta let there be light. Because from that light that you let shine through you, right? Because it's the light. The light is what casts out darkness from your life. The light is what casts away dark people away from you. So when you let your light shine now, what happens is you give life to so many other areas, to so many other people around you as well. You give life to them just like God gave life to us. Just like when God said, let there be light. When you let there be light in your life, things start to light up, right? Things start to go better for you. Things start to improve for you. Things start to increase for you. You start to experience abundance. You start to understand what prosperity is about. And what prosperity is about is not just a bank account amount. Prosperity is about the way you think. It's about the way you talk. Notice every time God or Jesus speaks, it's always something of light. It's always something of positivity. They're never claiming anything negative. They're never claiming any type of darkness over themselves, because that's not what that's not what the kingdom is about, right? So God says, let there be light. And then from this, creations just come about. Creations just from speaking positivity into his world. So maybe you're one of those people who you've been thinking, oh, thinking positive and speaking positive, oh, that stuff really doesn't work. That doesn't really work. That's just nonsense. That's just some type of witchcraft stuff. Maybe you're one of those people who's thinking that. Well, I challenge you to pick a different thought. I challenge you to start to realize that your words have power and your words have energy. And your words literally create your world. I challenge you to start realizing that your words literally create your world. How do I know? Well, if the ultimate consciousness, which is God, he's the ultimate consciousness, right? The Father is the ultimate consciousness. If the ultimate consciousness said, let there be light, and then so much beautiful things came about from him simply speaking positivity into existence, if the ultimate consciousness is utilizing this, then my question to you is, why not utilize it over your life? You know, why not utilize positivity over your life, speaking positivity and giving a positive message over your life? You know what I'm saying? Just like God did. Let there be light in your life. Let the light shine. And then you're going to see things start to change. But you got to speak the positivity that you want. I don't care if you're not rich yet. Speak as if you're rich. I don't care if you're not famous yet and you want to be famous. Speak as if you're famous. Right? I don't care if what the doctor said. It's not about what the doctor said. Oh, you got this much amount of months to live. Oh, you got this much amount of months, whatever, until you're healed. It's not about what the doctor says. It's about what you claim over yourself to be true. Right? All God said was, let there be light. And so as he said, it was. So all you got to do is say what you want to be and claim it now. Start to claim it now. And a lot of times when I speak, I don't try to say things, oh, if this happens. I say when this happens, right? If it's something that I'm trying to accomplish, I say when such and such happens, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Not if, because it's not an if, right? I'm claiming greatness. I'm claiming power over my situation. You know what I'm saying? So, and in every situation, even in dark situations, you can find the light. You can be going through a dark situation, but you can find the light in the dark situation. And just from that little bit of light that you find in that dark situation, you can then start to overpower the dark situation and turn it into a completely positive and in a good situation, right? So let there be light. Let there be light. Genesis. God said, let there be light. So I challenge you to let there be light in your life, right? For example, this channel, right? This first video that I'm putting up, this is a form of me letting there be light, because this is a thought that I've been having. It's been in my mind. It's been in an idea for years, but I'm just now launching the channel. I'm just now launching this video, right? So you see, this is a prime example of how I let there be light. Maybe you have an idea that you've been thinking about. Maybe you have a business that you've been wanting to launch, right? Maybe there's a relationship you've been wanting to improve on, or maybe there's a friend that you've been wanting to hang out with. Maybe there's something that you want to accomplish, but you haven't actually taken the first step. You haven't actually made up your mind yet to actually go for it yet. And if you haven't gone for it yet, what you're doing is you're suppressing the light. You're suppressing the light. You're not letting the light shine. See, when you get an idea and you've been getting a nudge to go and actually do the idea, when you actually do the idea and you execute on the idea, that's your form of letting there be light. Simple as that. That's your form of letting there be light, letting the light shine. And then you'll slowly start to see the darkness in your life is going to start to go away. And the more you focus on the light, the more you get the light. The more you focus on the light, the more you get the light. The more you focus on the positivity, the more you get the positivity. The more you focus on something, the more of that you get. You get what I'm saying? So God's focus, when he said let there be light, his focus was to create positive people, right? To create people, you know, you have Adam and Eve and stuff like that, who weren't of sin, right? Righteous people, pure people. But then after a while, of course, like there's light, darkness started to come into the picture, right? Because it's like this theory of duality. You have light and you have dark, right? You have night and you have day. You have bad and you have good. So although God said let there be light, and there was light, eventually some type of darkness started to come into the picture eventually, right? And we could talk more about that in future videos, but I just want to talk about this. I think I thought this would be the perfect first video to launch, because it's Genesis, it's the beginning, right? And as God said, so it was, right? And he's prophesied many other things coming to pass in the future. But let there be light. That's what I want you to do in your life, is I want you to start letting the light shine in your life. Stop being afraid of criticism. Stop being afraid of what other people may think. Stop being afraid of what other people may say. Stop being afraid of, oh, the work may be hard. Stop being afraid of, oh, the time it may take for you to put in to get to a certain level. Stop being afraid of the what ifs. Oh, what if that happens? Stop being afraid and just let the light shine. Let your light shine. All right, and if those of you, if you like this video, please like this video, please comment, please share, and subscribe to my channel, right? Subscribe to the Voice of the Kingdom channel. Please subscribe. I would appreciate that. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram, right? You can follow me on Instagram at _Shatique, right? That's at _SHATIQUE. And I would appreciate that follow, right? And if you got value from this message, if this message has gotten you to see things clearer, if you feel like you got a message today that you can actually start applying to your life now to get better results, to increase your situation, to bring glory, prosperity into your life, then please share this video. Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate that. So yeah, like I was saying, this is Shatique. This is King Shatique, right? I appreciate you for watching this video. I'm going to be dropping more videos every single day, right? I'm going to be consistent on the Voice of the Kingdom channel. And as time goes on, there's going to be some things that I'm going to be launching and offering to empower you and enlighten you for greatness. Because once you get to a certain level of enlightenment and empowerment, literally there's nothing that can stop you, right? There's nothing that can stop you. But the first thing you got to be able to do is you got to know how to speak light over your situation all the time. No matter what life throws your way, you got to be able to first speak light over your situation. Speak positivity over your situation, because literally just speaking it and thinking it literally changes the dynamic of the spiritual world. It changes the dynamic of the universe, so that the universe has to give you what you want, right? But you got to be positive. You got to speak life, speak greatness, speak abundance, speak prosperity. This is Shatique. I'm going to see you later on. Peace.